Hey there, it's Dave Penyuk of Revenue.com coming at you, and I've got a very special guest with me here today, Brian Scrone from Jacksonville Real Estate. He's a very active real estate investor down in the US and one of the leading educators for helping Canadians to invest wisely, smartly in the US. So just want to ask Brian a question here to introduce you to him. Great guy, and basically one of the questions that we get asked from our readers is, why invest in the U.S. and where in the U.S. And you focus specifically in Jacksonville, Florida, in the Sun Belt. So why did you guys pick Jacksonville? What is it about Jacksonville as a real estate investor?
That's a great question, and thank you for taking the time to sit down and view this. We have a very simple business model, so we focus on fundamentals. The five key fundamentals that we look for in Jacksonville, and we write about this in different articles in the book that we released, Fire Sale, last year. The five key fundamentals that we look for in any market, and this is a global fundamental, so you can use it anywhere. Number one is job growth, economic growth in that market. Are the jobs coming in or are they coming out? Number two would be population growth. Again, keep it real simple. Is population growing in that market or is it decreasing? In Jacksonville in particular, we have 75 households a day coming into the market, so we have really good population growth there, which in turn leads to job growth. Three would be desirability. Jacksonville is a great place to live. It's got great weather. It's got a diverse economy, diverse people. It's a coastal community. There's water everywhere, so it's very desirable. Supply and demand is the next one. That's a key fundamental in any investment. So supply and demand in Jacksonville in particular, we didn't have the huge overbuild that South Florida had. That's the analogy we always use because people tend to clump Florida into one market. And if you're an investor, that's a key mistake or a key fundamental to not do. So Jacksonville is very different. We're in Northeast Florida. We're very different from the other major markets in South Florida. We didn't have the huge run-up that everyone had and the cliff that fell, that happened in the rest of the state. So supply and demand is a big one there. And those are the things you need to look for. Just stick to the fundamentals. It's not rocket science. We talk about this on our website, so you could go back to those key fundamentals. And that's really that's what drove us, stepping back and being unemotional about it. Those key fundamentals are what drove us to the market in Jacksonville.
That's great. No, I appreciate that. And for those of you that are listening and watching, and you're very aware that Julie and I, what we always talk about is the fundamentals and what's important. And real estate is a very local market. And for every reason that you just gave, it's very much the same thing that we believe in the markets that we're investing in too. You have to study the fundamentals, get focused, and become a market area expert, which you guys clearly have been. So I appreciate you taking the time and explain a little bit more about why the U.S. and in particular why Jacksonville.
Yeah, and that's an important note to make there, that the U.S. is a very big place. We have 330 million people in our country. So when you guys hear the headlines in Canada that the U.S. is on sale and rush down to America, I know 1 in 5 Canadians are shopping in the States right now. Everything is not on sale, and some markets are very different. If you go to downtown Manhattan right now, you're going to be very hard-pressed to find a good deal. If you come to a market like Florida or like Arizona, California, these are the places that got hit the hardest, so you want to go to where all the pain was. For us in particular, Jacksonville, Florida, again going back to those fundamentals I just shared with you, separated. We knew we wanted to be coastal for selfish reasons, quality of life, but that's one of the key fundamentals, right? Desirability is what drives investment dollars into any market. And that's really what separated. We did research when we moved our business from California, liquidated that portfolio, and moved to Florida at the top of the market in 05 and 06. Our research and those key fundamentals just kept taking us back to the Jacksonville, Florida market. We looked all up and down the eastern seaboard. There is no other coastal city on the eastern seaboard in America that has those key fundamentals that's that size of a city. So just do your homework before you go into any market, whether it's Florida or Arizona or wherever that might be for you. Speed kills, do your due diligence, make sure that and I think we'll talk about this later in maybe another interview, the people that you have on the ground and the teams that you're working with in any real estate market is critical to your success. Property management is critical to your success. money follows management, and that all goes back to the teams that you're hooked up with. So just make sure you take your time to get in and spend the time in developing those relationships with the people on the ground that you invest with.
Yeah, that's great advice. So I appreciate your time. Thank you very much.
Thanks, guys.